I wonder if you're anything like me and you've woken up before and the thing that used to drive you just doesn't anymore. The gym, the business, the relationship, or even your dream. We are based in such a productivity obsessed culture that we instantly feel lost, not good enough, lazy. But I wonder if this potentially ending is not necessarily an ending, but a lack of motivation. So in this episode, we want to talk about this, whether the absence of motivation is just that and we have to push through, or it is a sign of an ending. Of course, I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Adam. How are you today?
Peace out, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you, Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to this. Motivated for this one.
As tradition dictates, I have a quote by none other, the great and powerful Mike Tyson. And he said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And I thought
Yeah.
this this beautiful quote is quite pertinent because obviously we're not talking figuratively that someone punches you in the face, but life has the ability to do that too. And today's episode is all about understanding whether you just need a rest and then to start again with full power, or if the absence of motivation is really a sign that you shouldn't continue anymore. Adam, any thoughts?
Love that Mike Tyson quote. It's brilliant. It also
It's
reminded
good,
me
isn't
of
it?
that sort of slightly less Mike Tyson quote: "Man makes plans and God laughs."
Yeah.
And that whilst we're busy planning out our futures, all kinds of difficult, challenging life events crop up for us to navigate. Um, And that, I guess, speaks to what we're doing here on this channel with our business, isn't it, brother? Helping people to navigate those times when God decides to change things up and send us a challenging situation. Um, Today's topic, motivation, I really relate to. When I was talked about it a couple of times, but 15 years personal trainer, did 5 fitness modeling shows, the gym, training, everything was an obsession of mine for many, many years, hobby, career, loved it. And, never thought that that would change. Um, until one day, the motivation for it started going. And it's like you said, it's discerning between, am I tired? Am I burning myself out? Have I actually been doing too much work? Or am I actually genuinely losing interest in what I'm doing? And am I wanting to seek for something else? And I don't know if there's a straight answer around that, only that kind of time will tell. Um, and you just need to keep having honest and open conversations with yourself about what's going on for you, because I got to a point where I had a couple of I had a period in 2019 where I had some amazing clients that I had great relationships with, and I would have incredible conversations about the cosmos and the universe and conscious reality in our personal training sessions. And like, I'd get halfway through the session and we'd been talking for like half of the session, and I was becoming really conscious that I really should be concentrating on giving them at least half a session's workout. Um, and it was at that point for me where that I realized that actually I'm becoming more interested in these kind of conversations and what's going on in someone's mind and their world than I am about giving them a workout or taking them through a workout. And so that for me was a that that was an epiphany moment for me of knowing something had changed things were changing for me, and I was going to have to start thinking about something new. Um, that took a long time to unravel that. That was a deeply ingrained label in me, though, having done it for 15 years and having had such a passion for it. And it was only really in towards the end of 23 where it started, even into 2024, it was still in my life, just gradually easing its way out. So it's a good 5 years that took me to figure out what that new thing would be and start that new beginning. So just I think it just goes to also show like how long these transitions can take us sometimes.
Hmm. I, yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I
Thanks for
I
asking.
know how hard it is to, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Um, I think also there is a what lies the kind of a layer beneath all this. There's a fear attached to it, right? And I mentioned it in the opening, especially in this kind of productivity obsessed culture, hustle culture. Everything is a competition, um, especially in corporate worlds. It's measured by KPIs, by sales metrics. Who's done the biggest sale? I remember times where I was a recruiter. There was a bell at the wall, and every time there was a sale made by someone, a bell was rung. And it in the beginning it gives you like this false motivation, but and then if you went through a drought period, which everyone goes through, then and you can't ring the bell, then then it's suddenly fear inducing. You're not good enough.
Mm,
What am I doing here? Is this really for me? And motivation is is such a weird metric, right? We need it,
mm,
but at the same time, it can hide a lot of our insecurities. And for me,
mm,
just from a personal anecdote, it always hid A, the fear of not being good enough, and B, I needed to continue for better or worse. Different word.
mm, mhm. Well, I forgive you. You are German. It's not your first language, and your English is far better than
Racist.
my German. um, yeah, and of course they were using that, no doubt, and using that understanding of human psychology to get more out of their employees, right? That kind of that group pressure that situation would create, and it would tap into everyone's fears of not being part of the tribe, not pulling their weight, not performing, the fear of that's driving people to do those things from fear, isn't it, rather than positive sort of encouragement and reinforcement, I guess. Um, yeah, it's a sticky one, isn't it? Motivation, and we were talking about it before about how what were we talking about before? My mind's just gone blank. uh, so
Let me jog your
yeah, jog my grey matter because I've had
yeah,
a busy
jog your gray
week.
matter. Yeah.
And
Oh,
maybe
there you
it's also
go.
relating to that. Yeah, it's relating to that. So that's very meta, right? So
Hmm.
I was really productive last week, highly motivated, doing lots of stuff around the podcast, the website, our business. So energized, like feeling so passionate about what we're doing, what we're creating. Um, but also knowing that coming out the other side of that, I would suffer a little bit of an energy hole. But I was kind of willing to go through that, knowing that I would have a little bit of space, you know, the other side of it to sort of reset. And that's what today has been for me, as a sort of a bit of a reset. So my brain isn't quite functioning at its capacity, but I know that um, I'm able to stop, appreciate the work that I've done over the last week, and still have that motivation and passion for what we're creating before I go into that next sort of cycle of work. So um, I've not got to a stage of feeling empty through the last week, um, because I don't want to do it anymore, that I've burnt myself out and I don't want to do it anymore. I've just got to a point where I've recognized that my energy stores are low and I need a rest before kind of going again. I think that was the point we were going to make, right?
Yeah, and this is exactly the kind of the key metric that you want to look at. If if you were
Mm,
sitting here now and say, I don't know how to move on. I've tried everything last
mm,
week. I've thrown 150% at the project or at whatever needed to be done, and I can't be asked anymore. Fuck this. Then, that's a different level of understanding. But coming out of it and saying, wow, that was a great week, but I'm tired now. Let me sleep in. Let me have I know, a lie in and a relax. Just go to the coffee shop and not open the laptop, and to have that comfort that this is okay now, to then wake up tomorrow and be energized again. That's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, brother. Thanks for reflecting that. And I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the self-worth that's wrapped up in yeah, the work we do and the labels that we have and the
Mm.
you know, like their identity that becomes so enmeshed with the work that we're doing. Um, when really they have nothing to do with like who we are. And I think that was one of the things I wanted to share in this episode to anyone watching and listening, because I talk about this to my clients as well, in that it's remembering that you've always been enough, you always will be enough, and you are enough right now, just because you exist. No other reason. Um, and I know it's kind of easier said than done. Yeah, I hope that landed for you there, brother. Um, I know it's easier said than done because we all, because we've all got hopes and dreams, right? We all want to optimize our lives, and we want to make things a little bit easier for us and earn a bit more money and just have that feeling of feeling good at something or successful or just useful. Um, but I think if we can really start to realize that just who you are, congratulations. Like, this isn't an easy game to play, and you're still here now, living and breathing, and you're an incredible human being, and you are enough. And the whole I'm not good enough piece, it does fuel a lot of people's motivation, for sure. But it's also very dysfunctional because there'll never become a point when you're satisfied with what you've created or what you're creating or what you're doing, um, whilst you're looking for that external validation to give you your self-worth. Um, so yeah, there's quite a few things I think wrapped up in this around self-acceptance as well. Um, and yeah, discerning between what's motivating, what's genuine motivation, or is it a motivation to seek validation from others? Um, so yeah, it's a very sticky one, isn't that? Because I know you got some experience with this as well, brother, right? Well, you've shared it, but
I just wanted to name a few of our colleagues, right? Alex Hormozy, Chris Williamson,
our
and
colleagues.
Stephen Bartlett, who basically do the same thing we do. But
Yeah,
interestingly enough,
we're
all
just a step
three of them
behind.
who, well, I mean, for me they're peers, but
It's a
okay.
big step, but
You
like, yeah,
um, obviously they're at the top of their game, and I enjoy listening to their conversations a lot. But all of them say that the reason why they got to the point where are now is because at one point they didn't feel good enough, right? And was the driver. And they all have one thing in common. They all say it's really um, misaligned motivation because it hurts. Every episode you release, it's not good enough. And arguably, okay, their success proves them right, but at what cost? right? And I guess what we are trying to achieve with Inner Earth, with our program, and just this channel is to allow more reflection and self-love to come into the space. And as you just
Mm.
said, right, you are enough already.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, brother. And I think two things strike me from after what you've just said there is like it's do the do the doing, but don't forget to be a human being. And it's in the being that we get the source, the fuel for the doing, isn't it? So we were saying boredom, allow space for boredom, allow space for moments where you're just doing nothing, thinking, relaxing, walking on your own, not really much going on. That's the space, isn't it, where all of this stuff drops in for you. And if you never allow time for that space, well, you never create space for it, then it can't come in. And then the second point that I wanted to touch on is around the fact that hustle culture could be great for people who are genuinely hustlers, and it could be really destructive for people who aren't. Like, so it's really understanding how you work and where your energy is. There's something called human design, which I've mentioned in the past. Human design is a way of looking at your blueprint, and it's based on a lot of astrology. It's also based on the Tao Te Ching, um, to give you a deeper understanding of your personality traits, your core traits. And there's a couple of different characterizations um, for people within the human design framework, and one of them is called one of them is a generator, and a generator is kind of what most of society is made up of, and they're people who have kind of like a relentless drive and a relentless energy to just kind of go go go. And I'm a type that's called a projector, and a projector is someone that doesn't have any fixed energy centers, and can have moments of spurts of energy and productivity that's really powerful. But because it doesn't have any fixed energy centers, it needs time to replenish and come back to itself. And I, from looking into my own human design and understanding this, it really helped me now to go. It helps me now to go. Okay, I know maybe for the next 2 or 3 days I can work and I will be I'll be in the flow, and I'll be creating and I'll be productive, and amazing stuff will come out of me. But I also know I'm going to kind of come to the end of that at some point, and I'm okay with that. And I know that I'm also okay with doing nothing. I love doing nothing. And so I'm also happy that once that all of that energy and that creativity and inspirations come through me, I can let that go for a while, and I can be at peace, and I can just pull back and allow myself to have rest and space, and not judge myself on it. Not go, not I'm lazy, I'm not doing anything, I'm da da da. Because I know when the next burst of creative inspiration comes through for me, I'll be on again, you know. So I've learned about my own way of working and my own energy. And so I think it's really important for you to discern what that is for you. Um, because some people can produce and go, 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 go. So it's important not to compare. You know, we all know comparison's like a fool's errand, isn't it? Because we're all
Mhm.
different. We're all playing the same game, but with a different set of tools. What say thou, Roman?
It's beautiful. I I don't have anything particular to reply to that because I think you nailed it. Took a hammer, you put the nail in, bish bash bosh. But I I would like to leave with, or like to kind of to land the spaceship by 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 putting out the two things that are symbiotic, and that's motivation and discipline. And I think what's especially with what we've talked about, you shouldn't just discipline your way through life, but there needs to be a decent level of discipline that outweighs motivation. If you just wait for motivation to exist or to arise, you'll never get anywhere. At the same time, you can't discipline yourself through a situation and ignoring all the signs. So you have to have a beautiful balance of both. Now, what say thou, Adam?
Mm. I say, I say, well, isn't that symptomatic for pretty much everything in life, right? Balance.
Hmm.
Balance and discernment seem to be two words, um, because everything's on a scale, isn't it? You've got extremes at either end, and you've got somewhere in the middle you want to aim for. Um, but then the flip side of that is sometimes an extreme level of motivation and discipline is required to get something off the ground, but it's knowing when to then pull back and come back into balance,
Hmm.
because you can't stay in that extreme place for too long, otherwise it'll eat you up and break you. So it's a good one to finish with there, brother.
You have a quote for us to land?
I think I just want to reiterate what I said midway through was like, Earthling, who's watching, co-host, you are enough. You've always been enough, and you will always be enough just because you exist.
I love you, Adam. That's beautiful. So there we have it. What does motivation mean for you? It's such an important part of our lives. Has something ended for you? Do you feel you are in the beginning of an ending? Is motivation no longer the key driver? We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, like and subscribe our channel. We love to take you on our journey. You find all the information in the show notes, of course. Thank you for watching, Earthlings. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, Adam, any last words?
No, I'm done.
You are enough.
Peace out. Love you, bro. Yeah, I am enough. Just as I am.
Good night, everybody.
Ciao.